I'm going to go from pissed off to really pissed off by the end of this. I'm Justin.
Yes. I'm Sam.
Feather Arrow, and a man who looks like Barry Manilow. I'm Jackie, and this is Gas on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at these!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at these!
No more hangers!
It stinks.
Hangers!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello, welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me always, Jackie and Sam. This is Gas, or...
There's only one A, so it's Gas.
Or a much longer title. The only way to save the world is destroy it or something like that. Like how I learned to love the bomb, stop worrying and love the bomb. Nice try, Roger Corman. Directed by Roger Corman, produced by Roger Corman.
Actually, Arkoff produced it.
Oh, Samuel Z. Arkoff produced.
That's what you get for trying to steal Sam's thunder.
Yeah. Well, I always give the principles at the beginning of the movie. Psychedelic,
Yes.
social commentary about the 60s and moving on to the 70s, a lot of Vietnam introspective stuff, while also saying, let's bang!
Yep.
Finger bang.
Kinda. I mean, it did get there.
I got to pre-love quite a bit.
But even then it was confused about that half the time.
Right.
And it's okay to rape people.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that. I just don't want to get into that. But, yeah, there's some bad things that are in this movie and portrayed as like, that's just the way it is. Thanks, 1970s youth.
Yeah.
I feel gross. Like, I don't feel good about mankind, like, at all after watching that.
Yeah.
I think we're headed in the wrong direction, and it seems like we've always been headed in there. If you go back and watch a movie from 1970, and you're like, God damn it!
Fucking crack open a history book if you want to get depressed. What? We've been doing this shit the whole time?
Oh, man.
This has been a problem since 1400?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The more things change, the more they stay the same is the title of this movie. Ugh. Sam, to those coming back, maybe you recognize a familiar voice that you haven't heard for a couple weeks. Jackie is here after a brief sabbatical. It seems like you're the only one that gets sabbaticals. That's kind of unfair.
That's because I'm fucking awesome and I travel.
Oh.
She is a doctor, so she can get sabbaticals, because we can't do that because we don't.
Like, you have to have a certificate. It's like your passport. Like, oh, yes, can I see your sabbatical documentation?
I feel like you can't get a job where you can take sabbaticals until you're a doctor.
Okay, all right.
Whereas when we would do that, we would either be taking a vacation or quitting.
Right. Mostly quitting.
Or being fired.
My thing is just quitting and getting fired.
Like,
so, yeah.
One of my film professors officially teaches at Valparaiso now, but he was on sabbatical at Boise State for like 4 years before they're like, I don't think he works here anymore.
Jackie, how was your sabbatical?
It was good.
Yeah?
I took my mother to Tijuana.
To Tijuana.
Mexico.
Okay, and now every single listener is going, oh, she's going to say something about donkey shows. She's going to say something about donkey shows.
I did ask about them.
What? Who do you ask about donkey shows?
So we paid this
See a guy with a
person.
donkey.
Yeah, okay. So I have 2 donkey stories. Okay.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. So I paid for a shopping tour for this person to take us around all these different places so we could go shopping, right? Uh-huh. And I asked her about a donkey show, and she was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like,
excuse me, where is the donkey show on this tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, donkey show? I'm like, Never mind.
So basically, you just like walked across the border to Mexico, grabbed the first person you saw, and went, "Where's the donkey show?"
Yeah, and then the lady just kind of looked at me like either that I was a major pervert or there was no such thing as a donkey show.
It can't be real.
I don't know, man.
But then, gentlemen,
Okay.
we went to the main shopping area of Tijuana,
Okay.
and we're walking through, and on every corner, both left and right,
Well,
there is a
there's
donkey.
Technically 4 corners.
Yeah, so on every corner, there is a white donkey that they have painted to look like a zebra.
Like the Beastmaster's panther.
Yeah.
Okay.
They paint them from a young age.
Jesus Christ. What?
Yeah, so they paint these donkeys to look like zebra donkeys. And then they make them wear little hats. Some of them had hats. Some of them had like little carts that were attached to them and with flowers around their necks and stuff, right? And you could pay money to feed these donkeys or take your picture with them.
It sounds like a donkey show to me,
That's-
but not the kind that we were talking
Right.
about. It's just
Yeah.
like they're donkeys for show.
Yeah. Well, and
Donkeys.
I asked the lady, I'm like, why does that donkey look like a zebra? She's like, oh, they paint them for the tourists.
For what possible reason?
For the tourists,
But-
so that we can have zebra donkeys here in Tijuana so that people will come to see the donkeys.
I don't have any interest.
Yeah, they have like all these little weird knickknacks with these donkeys on them. It's just a tourism thing.
But it means nothing.
Donkeys don't seem to fucking care.
Like I
They're show donkeys, Justin. They're not carrying the marijuana from anywhere. They're not part of the drug world.
Yeah.
They are show donkeys.
I don't think you know where marijuana comes from, but okay.
I don't, but that's okay.
From burro caravans.
Burro caravans. There's a land where the donkeys rule the pot. So these donkeys, they just fucking, they're like celebrities down there.
And they just stand there all day long.
Yeah, they don't
Okay.
fucking care. They're just like, give me some food.
Sure beats working.
Yeah.
What about the shit? What about the donkey shit?
I didn't see any donkey shit. I think they pick it up.
Okay. So
Road
like,
apples are kind of like horse shit and donkey shit. It's pretty easy to clean up because they're herbivores.
Yeah.
so you just get like a snow shovel or something and just scoop it up immediately and keep your streets clean.
Well, you want people to come to your donkey, right? You don't want your donkey to smell like shit, or they'll
Okay.
just go across the street to the other donkey.
Right. Hey, I'm going to go check out the clean donkey. This donkey's covered in dung.
Yeah, this donkey has a big pile of shit behind it. I'll go over to the other donkey. So, if you ever go down to Tijuana, you're going to see some sweet donkeys with costumes on.
That's so weird.
And it's a big deal down there.
So there's a donkey show. It's just not at all what we thought.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
That's something else.
They're show donkeys.
Okay. All right. We're ready to talk about this movie.
Sure.
Sam, you have dug through the interwebs.
The interwebs.
And
There's actually a shitload about this movie, but I picked the only thing I found interesting.
Okay.
He's like the one thing.
There's a lot of like
Bring it.
meandering. So George Armitage wrote the script, and they shopped it a little bit.
Okay.
And pretty much every studio said it's going to take $2 million to do this.
Why?
So Corman bought the rights back and then he's like, well, I'll just do it for $300,000. Fine, whatever.
Was he just throwing out a number like, oh, you're gonna have to write a check for $2 million, knowing that it's only gonna cost $300 because there's
No.
nothing here.
Well,
They travel, but
who knows what the original script looked like?
Sure, okay.
That's one problem
Yeah.
with this.
explosions and space battles.
Yeah, there was some more expensive art pieces probably that could have been put into the movie, but he was like, I can do this for $300,000. It's fine. I'll do it with AIP.
Yeah, have you seen Easy Rider? I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah. So they rewrite everything every day. That happens. And beyond that, it appears that Corman, when he left to do his Red Baron movie for United Artists right after this, which I think it was Von Richtenstein and Brown,
Okay.
this other producer that works under Arkoff, Jim Nicholson, is the one that recuts this. He's like, oh, this came to me completely unfinished, even though he gave him a work cut. And then he just recut it to make less sense, so it's more psychedelic.
So it's post psychedelic. It's the psychedelic in post. They hit a fucking Adobe Premiere filter that says make this shit groovy. God damn it, that sucks.
It does suck.
If you're going to make a psychedelic film, you got to start out with it as a psychedelic film. You can't put, we'll just cram some psychedelia in later.
I think that there was most film executives thought psychedelic meant pile of movie.
Right.
Like, they didn't really get what was going on. They're just like, we can do whatever. Now it's psychedelic.
Right.
Doing whatever doesn't make it psychedelic.
No,
it makes
does
it
not.
nothing. It makes it a pile of movie. You can't make any fucking sense out of.
I'm starting to think that maybe I should apologize to you, Sam. You seem to be quite disgruntled about my movie choice this week.
Just wait till the end, Jackie, when I start throwing things.
So, beyond the problems that they have making it, it gets cut in a way where I guess what Corman had said is that somebody says it doesn't make sense, someone says it's intellectual. I think they're both right, because he had some fairly intellectual things that he thought he was doing that didn't make it through into the final cut. He also said that he was struggling midway through when he was looking at all these ideas that younger people had, and that he was old enough now that he was like, all the kids are assholes.
Right.
So he had a difficult time not, being get off my lawn the whole time he was making this movie about, youth movements and we're all fucked, basically. I think that's what he's like, no, if we have to depend on the next generation, we may as well put our heads between our legs and kiss our asses goodbye right now.
And like, that's really a statement because at this point in time, Roger Corman is basically our age. Like, I mean, he's not the Roger Corman we know, who is an old guy.
Yeah.
He
was mid-40s, I think, at this point.
He's in his 40s.
Because he'd been working since the 50s, though.
Right. Yeah, he's not exactly Clint Eastwood at this point.
No.
Damn kids.
This is the movie, though, that when the recut of this was like the fourth time in a row, I guess, that Nicholson had done it to him.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't care about the other movies. And it's funny because they both have differing opinions, and then Arkoff's like, I thought everything was fine. And it's like, well, because they make Boxcar Bertha, Corman produces that, and then Scorsese directs it. Mm-hmm. That's the last time he works for AIP. That New World is because of this thing getting recut so bad.
Yeah.
This is the one he'd done some work for Columbia. He'd done some work for UA where he had some pretty hefty paychecks. And this was the one where he was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to...
Fuck you guys.
I am starting my own studio. You finally pushed me out.
I've done my run of Edgar Allan Poe. I'm out!
Yeah. And that was, I think that he probably is still friends with, or was when Arkoff was still alive, because he was able to do that full Edgar Allan Poe cycle with really minimal interference.
Right.
Like, Arkoff just let him do whatever he wanted to do on those.
Right.
Especially after the first one made money.
And then Nicholson comes in and basically pulls a 20th Century Fox. Starts sticking his fingers in everything.
Yeah. But, well, specifically on those four, this one especially.
This was the straw that broke the camel's back.
This is the straw that broke the camel's back. Also, I guess it could have made money had they put it in more theaters, but they didn't.
So was it drive-in or?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did it at drive-ins, and it still, I guess, like broke even.
Yeah.
Which really pissed somebody off.
I guess it's one of those movies at 1970 that if you're in your teens and you are going to a drive-in and you make out during the whole thing and you go, so did you catch any of that movie? And the person says no, you're like, okay, cool. I didn't either. I don't really care. We made out the whole time.
Yeah, if
you're not missing anything.
Make out in a movie, this is the one.
Right.
I mean, I forced myself to try to appreciate Easy Rider one time, and I think you can make out through that one too.
Yeah, except
for
Nothing Sexy. That actually is a turn off.
Yeah, it's pretty icky.
Right.
Did you know what the first New World Pictures movie was? It's called Sweet Kill. The second one was Caged Heat, which we already did.
Right.
And is this Corman's second episode? Did we do Fast and Furious?
No, yeah, we did Fast and Furious, and obviously Death Race 2000. And
he didn't direct that.
He didn't, but it's a Corman movie.
Sure.
And I thought we got to something else of his, but I can't think of off the top of my head. I want to talk about something, production-wise. Out of the entire cast and crew, essentially one crew, I want to talk about George Armitage. The only two people who weren't ever anybody's were the two main people, Cole and Scylla.
Mm-hmm.
Bud Cort, we're familiar with.
Yes.
Who I don't know if Jackie would know, but in the Harold and Maude equation, he's Harold.
Yes.
Talia Shire.
Yep. Mrs. Rocky.
She's fucking Adrian.
Yeah.
Huh.
She was actually credited here as Coppola instead of Shire as well.
Right. Ben motherfucking Vereen
He's in everything.
is Carlos, famed Ben Vereen from music and television and film. I think he's an EGOTer.
Yeah.
Cindy Williams, she was the pregnant one. You know who she is?
Mm-mm.
She's Shirley from Laverne and Shirley.
Fucking Shirley. Goddamn. I didn't look up Alex Wilson. He may or not. No, he's
Alex
not
Wilson's nobody.
Yeah. But George Armitage, did you look at what he went on to do?
No, I didn't.
He didn't write shit, and he didn't direct shit, except for one fucking film that you are quite the fan of. Fucking Grosse Point Blank.
Oh, really?
Out of nowhere, this guy comes out and directs Grosse Point Blank, and it's like, wait, what?
What? Huh.
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, the only other things he's gotten in his credit list that are of note are those, like, late night Corman movies, like Sexy Nurses 2 and Gas Pump Girls and fucking Sexy Nurses 3. And then he directs Grosse Point Blank well after the Corman. It's just very strange.
Yeah. The Scylla girl that's in here, she's pretty. She's in an episode of every cop show on TV.
Yeah.
That she didn't make it, but she was like, she was bikini lady with a problem in Magnum PI and Miami Vice and whatever else, right?
What's your problem, bikini lady? I'm not in a Ferrari right now.
Yeah, I can't seem to be. I seem to be not riding around on a mustache. It's problematic.
All right. Well, I charge 5 cents for mustache rides. All right.
It just covers the wax.
Yeah. Are we ready to talk about?
Well, considering I have 3 notes, maybe not.
Oh my god, it wasn't that bad.
I only have 3 notes. I tried to write stuff down.
Well, my first note here is this movie starts out with me having no clue. What the fuck is this opening sequence? Like, I understand there's some context here for what happens later in the film, but this is like the shittiest animation sequence ever.
It's a Red Bull commercial.
It's a shitty Red Bull commercial.
They were apparently the original script had like some bugs, like we're gonna try to borrow Looney Tunes,
right? Some chops,
to do like
some chop shit,
heavy-handed, good animation sequence that was really ideologically heavy-handed. For $300,000, you get this,
right? But why even have it animated if it's gonna be this? Why not just have a couple guys?
Because the general sounds like John Wayne.
Yeah, the same guy was doing all the voices.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
A lot of John Wayne in this movie.
Man, it sucks. But anyways, these
I thought that was the best part.
Yeah, it might be. These 2 animated characters come out. One's like a fucking General Patton. The other guy is like fucking...
Einstein.
Senator.
Yeah, he's Senator Einstein or whatever, who just talks in mumble talk. But essentially, the military has invented this new weapon that's called gas. And the Einstein senator is like, cool, I christen this country gas, and he cracks the bottle against the fucking camera or whatever, which causes the gas to outbreak across the world.
So he thinks he's doing it with champagne, but somebody hands him a vial of the toxic gas.
And this gas has one effect. It kills everybody over the age of 25.
Yeah, but super ages you after you hit 25. There's like X hormone that you don't pop out as much or something. And then once that stops happening, you pretty much age from 25 to 80 in 10 minutes and die.
So you have rapid opposite Benjamin Button disease.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody, this is essentially a PA film.
It is.
As evidenced by the title. But the only people that are alive are 25 and younger. Do you think it's like exact? Or and is it like Carousel? If you have your 25th birthday, do you float up into a fucking light show and disappear?
It's over 25.
Right. So what happens on your birthday?
On the 26th birthday?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, you age and fall into your cake face first.
Happy birthday.
I made it. No, I didn't.
Oh, no. They're like, hurry up and blow out your candles before you die.
We want your cake.
Yeah, they actually, everybody just moves their birthday to the day before so that they can die in
And eat the
respectable
cake.
manners. They're like, I got to shit now because, man, in about 20 minutes, that's when I was born. I'm going to die.
Right.
I want to die on the crapper like Elvis. They're trying to, like, put themselves on a lounge couch so that they don't. I don't know. If I knew I was going to die like tomorrow or whatever, and I knew the exact time, I would go out and buy the fanciest dress.
Sure.
And then put on a diaper so that it wouldn't ruin the dress
Right.
after I died. And I would just like position myself so that when people found me, I looked regal.
Oh, so like you're doing the cool pose.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
With
right.
like all these diamonds and gems and shit that I stole from a museum because you know what? I was alive and there was nobody to stop me.
I'm ready for my scene now, Mr. DeVille. Except I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I can't even save this for the end. But if this happened and I was under 25, the first thing I would do is go to the Tower of London and steal all the gems from there and just start wearing them around.
Okay. I think I'd probably...
Somebody's going to get there first.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Excuse me, I need to hop a plane and fly across the world.
Walk over there and...
Yeah, I would start stealing gems from the rich and I'd just like wear them around like tiaras and fuck it.
I'll be honest, I'd probably do something very similar to this movie. I would just go straight to the drugs. Like, give me the heaviest shit you got, man. Let's get fucked up.
Where are you headed? The pharmacy?
Yeah, right. What, you're not going to fucking do some coke? What, bitch?
Dude, it is time to
They
renew
have
my
that at
love.
the pharmacy.
Yeah, it's time to renew my love of opioids.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna double down on some Soma, probably do some coke.
Yeah.
I'll probably just skip the reefer completely. And you know what? At the end of it, I'll probably like get gassed on H and then choke on my tongue while I'm puking.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or
I
just,
don't
like,
even make it to my birthday.
Walk out a week later, unable to poop, with just ghost white face and sunken in eyes. Like, I chewed up all the pills. The CVS is empty.
All right. So this then follows this guy as he builds a coalition of bohemians, essentially. Starting with him being on campus with a crossbow, just running across campus with a fucking loaded crossbow and getting chased by security.
Yeah.
Why does he have the crossbow?
Maybe this is him in his unrefined wild man, and he's going to become... he's part of his character journey, I guess.
This is what I think. I think
All
he's
right.
a bohemian. He was hunting pigeons and he got busted.
Hunting pigeons. Very bohemian, yes.
Yes. He's like, I gotta eat. I've heard some pigeon is pretty good.
I
Live in a big city.
I remember Ravi Shankar's third album, Yummy Pigeon.
And so he was like hunting pigeon and he got busted.
Huh. Okay. I don't know about that, Jackie, but let's run with it. So he's getting chased by security, ends up
With no pigeons.
With no pigeons. Ends up in a church and dresses as a father and gives confession to everybody and is escaped now because the cops are too stupid and or religious.
It's, I guess, some Bugs Bunny bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, they have some jokes in here. Like the cop goes, have you seen any long-haired hippie people?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we haven't had one of those in this church for a long time. As he's got the long hair, and he passes past Jesus, who has long hair. And it was like, oh, that's tacky.
Or maybe Corman knew what he was doing right there. Being
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Hey, man.
It was supposed to be a joke.
Jesus was kind of a rebel rouser himself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He told those Romans what to do with their empire.
So then he gets into the
he wore
confession booth, right?
Birkenstocks.
Oh my God, he did wear Birkenstocks and a crown of feathers in his hair. Oh, I mean, thorns.
Oh.
Fish, wine, what's the difference, man?
There's enough for everyone.
That's my Jesus impression.
Why you guys follow me around, goddammit?
I just want to be alone with my thoughts. So then we see him in the confession booth, right? And there's a Playboy in there, a Wall Street Journal.
Right.
And it's got some picture of a hot nun. And it's like, oh, all right. But then in the confessional is his girlfriend.
Or
sort of.
Yeah, his
she's
swinging lady.
Because she says that she's shacking up with the doctor that invented the gas.
Right. And
the project went wrong, and now everybody's going to die.
Right.
And then on the other side of the confessional, which I don't think confessionals have two sides, is the cop, and he's like, is it wrong? Is police brutality wrong? He's like, only on Fridays. And the guy goes, well, I'm guilty. And he's like, well, then you have to go help the Black Panthers. Ugh. And I'm like, oh, no.
God damn it, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was, okay.
So the apocalypse happens. All the old people die. Old people. And which means the college kids are going to party through the apocalypse because the very next thing they do is start having a swinging groovy party.
That's what happens is that you get a heavy dose of reality. They go up to the roof. There's people in charge. The college Republicans are going to keep order, maintain. That lasts like 8 minutes.
Right.
And now it's a fucking kegger.
Right. Yeah, for how long?
Until the college burns the rest of the way down.
Right.
It's descended into complete chaos.
What?
There.
I don't still get my trust fund?
Yeah.
No way.
The University of Virginia is done for.
Yes. And this university, these kids are fucking dumb because everybody knows that the first thing you do is you go out and get all the food that you like, right? There's nobody making Doritos and snowballs and shit like that anymore. Yeah. You got to go stock up for these parties.
You don't have time to party.
Yeah, well, you drink beer because, there's obviously no drinking and driving laws anymore.
Right.
So you go get in your car and you're drinking beer with your friends and you go down to the local A&P or your supermarket and you load up. Because eventually you're going to be like the Donald Pleasance of parties.
The Donald Pleasance of parties?
I suppose.
You want to go with the Old Spice.
No, that's
Jack Palance.
Jack Palance of parties. Sorry.
Donald Pleasance would be like, unfortunately, I've eaten all the Doritos.
We need Jack Palance and Donald Pleasance to one-time team up for a buddy cop movie.
Oh, that would have been
good.
A non-mover.
And it would have just basically been Rush Hour before the Jay Leno, Pat Morita thing, like, the 70s version of Rush Hour.
It would just be two men sitting silently in a car till Palance had enough and goes, how's your coffee anyway? And then he would just be like, actually, it's still a bit too hot. Even bitching about that.
Right. Okay, so they bail whatever campus they're on, someplace in Dallas. I don't even know what school is in Dallas. What's their big school?
Dallas is huge.
Right, but what's their big one?
The big one?
Yeah.
Neither of the big ones.
Texas Tech? Is that?
Nope.
That's in
they're all
Houston.
The really famous ones from Texas are not in Dallas. So it could be anybody university.
And
right.
I think the biggest football team out of Dallas-Fort Worth is TCU, and that's a small school.
Right, but that's in Fort Worth.
That's in Fort Worth, yeah. Texas is in Austin. Texas A&M is in College Station.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nobody good is in Dallas.
Yeah, I don't know what school they're at. But
SMU?
Oh, maybe SMU. Yeah. Write us and tell us, any attendees of SMU, if you have a crossbow. And pigeons, apparently. And so they're like, dude, we need to bail. This party's over, I guess. We didn't get enough ding-dongs, and now the guy that has all the ding-dongs is a shirtless Nazi, kind of?
Oh, the ladies are getting the ding-dongs.
Well, no, I meant like the hostess. The hostess ding-dongs.
The hostess are getting the ding-dongs.
Not the hostesses. The hostess company. So
the
they're
ho-hos are getting the ding-dongs, and I got snowballed.
By a Twinkie.
Ooh.
So yeah, they need to leave because I guess the Nazis are in charge of campus.
The
or
Nazi.
This one guy because he found a whip.
Well, it's because he found a post-production voice.
Yeah, right. That too.
And
it's awful.
He says that he used to be a cop before, before all this happened. He was a police officer, and he's the highest ranking one left.
Okay.
So now he's the Lord of Dallas.
So what? There's no rules anymore, dude.
And he looks like a fucking wiener. Like, you
He
could just
looks
throw
like a wiener.
He looks like one of those guys that you could pick up a rock, throw it at him, hit him in the eyebrow, and he'd be like, oh, my fucking eyebrow. And he's talking like a German.
Right. He's a Nazi. He, like, not because he's German, but because the things he says are Nazi-esque. But my problem is like, even if he was a wiener and he's got a weapon, it's clear that he doesn't know how to use this weapon.
He gets it stuck under the desk.
Right. Somebody just beat him up.
He doesn't. I don't think he's the Lord of Dallas for very long.
No.
No, he's going to do a little bit better than the college Republicans.
Yeah, right.
But not much.
So okay, we got to burn this question now. How do you take this guy out? If you're the two main characters, right? You go there for a travel passport, and he's like, no traveling. What do you do?
Well, if I'm at this point in time, we've already addressed that I am filled with all of the drugs. I'm not really worried about taking out the Nazi. I'm worried about taking out the purple bear that's riding an elephant in front of me, who just also happens to be the Nazi. So my strategy is basically to throw mice at it. I've got mice powers in my drug-induced state.
So you're just sitting there throwing air, and he's like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm feeding you mice.
Yeah, mouse. Like lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Oh my God. I'm going to jump in the pool and start going, Marco, and see if he does Marco Polo with me. And then as he gets close to the side, I'll grab him by the leg and then hold him under.
So just if somebody says Marco, you have to play polo with them?
Dude, it's rude if you don't.
Even if you're the post-apocalyptic leader of a college campus, it's just, you cannot help it. You have to say Marco.
Marco. Polo.
Exactly.
And then get drowned.
Yeah. Then you grab him by the whip and pull him in.
Okay. All right.
Then you shove the whip up his butt just for fun.
Sam, do you got a clever way to take this guy out, or do you just not care?
I know. I'm actually, again, I've chewed up the pills. And
he's still in the pharmacy.
I'm fondling the tits of a bag of potato chips right now. I mean, I don't even know if it's food or if I'm having sex with it or what. You don't chew them up. It loads them in too fast. I had a mouthful of somas. I'm drooling on myself. There might be some poo.
Oh, I don't want to be around that guy. And then the German leaves.
Yeah.
He's like, just give him a pass. He needs to go to the next pharmacy.
Take control of that man. No, look at him. He's actually human liquid. You can't even pick him up. Just fucking leave him there.
Throw a bag of chips by his head just in case he wakes up.
How I survived the apocalypse, I was too fucking useless for even evil people to want anything to do with me.
That man smells terrible. So they go on a road trip, essentially, across the southern states. Very Easy Rider-esque, as it were.
And I want to talk about the car.
Okay, yeah, they got an Edsel. It's pretty
because
sweet.
this car magically loses headlights throughout the movie.
Right.
Like sometimes it has one headlight, sometimes it has all four headlights. But the real kicker for this car is that it's got a stallion mounted on the top of it as a hood ornament.
Right.
And it looks like it's a solid silver. It looks really nice, like something you'd find at your grandma's house.
Okay.
And, like up in her knickknacks cabinet. And I'm like, that's a really good idea. I wonder if I can mount one of those to my Lincoln.
Probably not, nor will I allow you to.
Damn it.
Yeah, so the car gets stolen eventually by some bandits who are dressed up as cowboys, desperados, as it were.
Yeah.
And one of them just happens to be Billy the fucking Kid, who steals cars and sells them, I guess.
Well, I mean, fuck it. At this point, you can pick your own name.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would be, I'd be Abraxas.
Abraxas?
Yeah, Defender of the Universe.
I just keep my normal name because it's going to be too much fuss in between there and the chewing the pills.
That's the only thing that carries over is your name.
Yeah.
Everything else is...
Like, did you change your name? Why? I'd forget what it was. Somebody'd be yelling at me the whole time. I was like, I didn't know you were talking to me. Is it your name this? I don't know.
So they have no car. They hoof it into town. And the first place that they end up is a record store. because I guess that's where all the cool kids go when you don't have a car or direction in life.
It's where Shirley from Laverne and Shirley goes.
Yeah, and Ben Vereen. Because they're there, so they team up with them with some
Ben is dressed up like a...
really heavy racism along the way.
Yes, I will agree with that. But he's dressed up like a bandito.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the war. It's still the war to him.
Right.
And she's like bright and bubbly and...
All she wants to do is listen to records.
Yeah, listen to the oldies.
Mm-hmm.
Bubblegum hits.
Mm-hmm.
What's that guy's name? Not Tim Conway. Conway Twitty.
Tim Conway. Totally. That's the second time Dorf has come up today. That's too many.
Well, I mean, we just lost poor Tim Conway.
Yeah.
So they form a group of bohemians, essentially. A couple more come in, Bud Cort and Adrian. And now they've got guns, so they're going to get their car back from Billy the Kid.
Yep. So they have a gunfight, which consists of movie cowboy trivia.
Yeah. If it appears the rules are, it doesn't matter where you aim your gun because your bullets are made of Hollywood, by verbalizing Hollywood cowboys.
Yeah.
And the more prolific of a Hollywood cowboy you are, the more deadly shot.
Uh-huh.
Because John Wayne kills the head guy at the end.
He has to throw out both James Arness and John Wayne to kill Billy the Kid. Though.
Right. I noticed the Lee Van Cleef mentioned in there. That was kind of
nice.
Gene Autry.
Gene Autry. Gene Autry. It's Gene Autry.
Gene Autry.
Yeah. I don't really understand the context here.
Yeah, I don't either. I thought that this was where I was really officially off board. I wasn't like happy about anything before this, but when this happened, I was like, "Oh, fuck this movie." Like, I really don't like this movie at all. Like, it's like, "Ooh, you've crossed a line. I don't even know what it was, but now I'm pissed off at you."
Is it just like making commentary about Hollywood in general and about how every spaghetti western or just western in general ends in some sort of shootout? And if like Lee Van Cleef versus John Wayne in a western shootout, John Wayne's gonna win, so therefore that's the rules?
I guess. I don't know.
It's not. I don't like it.
It was dumb.
It was super dumb.
And it took a long time.
It took a long time. Then some fucking Edgar Allan Poe guy shows up on a fucking Harley and issues them a warning about where they're headed, and they're like, okay, cool. And he rides off.
Well, he's with Lenore.
Lenore.
Yeah.
That's that was a question mark at the end. When somebody's voice goes, Lenore, that's a question.
The woman that's with him is Lenore, and it's based off his most famous Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh.
Nevermore.
Yeah, the Raven, Jackie.
The Raven.
His most famous one, Nevermind.
Never mind.
Yep. The kid, it had the baby penis on it in the pool.
Right, yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe and Nirvana are the same guy.
That's right.
He also has a raven sort of like taped to his coat, and it's sort of hanging off haphazardly as well.
Well, it's hard to keep a taped on raven when you're going 90 miles an hour on the freeway. I'm surprised his top hat stayed on.
No.
He's lucky that a guy didn't chase him with a crossbow, mistaking the pigeons for ravens. Same thing, right? Anybody?
No.
Remember that joke from the beginning of the podcast? Okay.
Crossbows are dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And apparently very ineffective, Game of Thrones. So, they continue on down the road, and this whole time they've been passing signs about the Oracle. Find the answers ahead at the Oracle, and there's a mile marker, and it's ticking down the further that they drive down the road. So eventually we know where this movie's going to end up.
So we also should mention that there is this weird, like 4x4 Humvee thing that's painted like the Oracle.
Yeah, like an army
like the
truck.
signs,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
That lead to the Oracle, and it's just following them around, but they don't ever acknowledge it.
Right.
It's never mentioned about what the hell it is.
This psychedelic army van is tailing them, essentially.
Right.
It's just being psychedelic.
Yeah, right.
because it never gets explained,
No.
which is psychedelic.
Well, it does, but I don't know what the explanation is. So they find a concert, and we get to meet Country Joe, the
Man, you talk about blowing it. Country Joe.
Country
stinks.
Joe and the fish.
Like, the music's fine or whatever, but then he gets, like, this oratory where he's like, I am the God man guy, very powerful, I think. Hold on. I've lost my notes.
Right?
Excuse me. He's awful.
He stinks.
And they have, like, but God talks to him anyway.
Right.
Like, the God shows up here, and I guess he is in the rest of the movie, too, every once in a while.
Yeah, he tells Country Joe that he left his lights on in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's fucking the blue light special guy at Kmart. That's how indifferent God has become, maybe, during this whole thing? Or is God being snarky? Or is God less important than Country Joe, who self-declares that he's a god?
Yeah.
I don't really know what the context is for God either.
I don't know, but I used to work at Kmart,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to do the blue light special announcement sometimes.
Man, you are a part of history.
And it does feel like you're kind of like a god. Because
blue light specials?
the blue light special, right? Like, things are going on. Like,
I am omnipotent.
like
Divinity
sale.
on aisle 12.
That's right. And you're like, good evening, Kmart shoppers. Because I always worked at night. I'm like, we're going to be running a blue light special on blah, 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 blah.
And I'm all powerful.
Yeah. I mean, there's just something about working in a retail store and getting over the intercom and telling people what's up.
And on a side note, I have the power of life and death now.
I am the Godhead. You can see me by the fitting rooms. Thank you.
Also, the Cheesums are 10 cents off.
Get them while they're cheesy.
Okay. So, our guy, whatever his name is, Carl or whatever.
The main guy?
Yeah, whatever.
Hippie dickhead.
Hippie dickhead.
I call him the Barry Manilow lookalike.
Yeah, sure.
He has a very Barry Manilow look.
I think he looks more like Michael Beck. I thought he was like Michael Beck's uncle from such fine films as Megaforce and Xanadu.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, and he was in The Warriors.
And the Warriors.
Okay, so he finds some groovy love, I guess, with Adrian backstage because he runs this continually thing with his lady, Scylla, of, like, sex is just using fancy words, and that's what's hot.
You use beautiful words to describe lovemaking, like soft arrow and things. It was dumb.
Feather
as hell.
arrow.
Feather arrow.
Nachos.
Yeah.
Bacon steaks.
Mm-hmm.
10
martini.
10-yard line.
Vodka.
Well, that's just yours.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like after 10. And then everybody's like, oh, that is not sexy. You just fell down.
Again.
Again.
Are you dancing seductively again?
So for those listeners who may not have heard this story.
You have to explain an inside joke that embarrasses you.
So I gotta say though, for those listeners who maybe didn't hear this story like way back when we first started, when I first met Justin, he was over at Sam's house, and I was at our apartment alone with all with the 2 dogs that we had at the time, and we had a big dog, and he liked to dance. And he'd like jump up and he'd get all excited, right? And he'd dance around. And so we were having a dance party and drinking vodka shots. And I drank too much.
Vodka shots. You drank one, and that's too much. You don't shoot vodka.
Oh, I was shooting the vodka.
Yeah.
So me and the dog were dancing. I was shooting the vodka. And Justin comes over and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I dance very seductively. Woo! And I tried to like put on my snake charmer dance.
She didn't say that. She said, there's something you should know about me. I dance very seductively. And then the whitest white lady you've ever seen tried to twerk in front of me, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to bed. Fuck this shit.
It was one of my more shining moments when we first started dating.
You know, I don't think you do.
Super hot. I'll have the soup.
Okay, so there you go. Where the fuck were we in this dumb movie? Okay, yeah, so he's getting groovy love backstage.
That's with some rando. It's not with.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it was.
No, it's a rando.
Yeah, some rando. All right, and so it's not even a thing because of free love. Scylla seems kind of upset. Like, so did she give you everything you wanted?
Did she make you happy?
Yeah, and he says, yeah. What if the answer was no? What if he was like, it was okay.
Did she make you happy? Nope, but I'm pretty sure she gave me crabs.
Right.
This is itchy.
Yeah, I don't know what the context here is about free love either, because she seems kind of not down with the free love, even though she later is down with the free love. I don't know. I think there's some mixed messages
She
going
revenge
on.
fucked those 3 dudes.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so they find another town, and this town has a parade, dune buggies, football guys,
Yeah.
looting, meat theft, mannequin magic, like Mannequin the movie, because a mannequin gets turned into a lady and then kidnapped
For raping.
and conscription. It's a pretty busy place.
Yeah. Texas is vibrant still.
Yeah, I
Well,
guess.
and these dune buggies are pretty nice.
Yeah,
they got nice paint jobs.
Right.
And I'm like, how the fuck do you high school kids get a bunch of fucking dune buggies?
They stole them, Jackie.
Well, I'm sorry, but there's probably like 6 dune buggies in our whole town.
Yeah, there's really not. Dune buggies, I guess, even in the 70s, and they were mostly a California thing, weren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
Those were handmade fiberglass kit cars.
right. Yeah.
So what the fuck, dude?
yeah. You just can't just go down to the dune buggy dealership and pick up 10, You gotta make those.
You got to be friends with the guy who hand makes those kits. And
Right.
who Corman was.
Yeah, I guess so. So this town is ruled by the football gang. They're called the Warriors. Weird. And their deal is to use football references anywhere they possibly can to describe raping and pillaging towns.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they have banners that say loot, rape, pillage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's their cheer.
Right. Right. Yeah, they've got a cheer squad. Like
And a band.
The whole
Yeah.
town's behind these guys.
They are the whole town.
Well, not just they have a parade that isn't staffed by football warriors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's their
marching band.
cheerleaders and their marching
Yeah,
band.
no, the whole town is behind these guys. Like, yeah, go get them.
Mm-hmm.
Rape and pillage everybody but us, please.
That's the idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep them distracted.
Yeah, I guess. So our team of bohemians get nabbed and forced into labor to make these guys an obstacle course so that they can train for raping and pillaging.
Uh-huh. They're red shirting.
Yeah, right. Right.
The
They're-
red shirts on the big team.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Damn it.
There's some... The guy does okay as the football guy. This is the only time that the movie sort of starts to become like one of those quirky PA movies with their factions that can be fun, like She.
Or A Boy and His Dog.
Yeah, but it never... Beyond just this happening, it never really develops into anything interesting.
No, it doesn't. It's
Like-
just...
Well, that and the leader's like 35.
Right?
Yeah.
You should have been dead, sir, with the gas.
Yeah. So the hippie team tries to escape, and they steal a dune buggy and then have a chase in the desert. That's not very exciting. It's kind of like blah Scooby-Doo chase.
It's not even... They're going like 4 miles an hour.
Yeah, right. There's an occasional Benny Hill speed up here and there of the film, which sucks. They get away, and they find a construction site, but now Shirley, who has been pregnant this whole time, is, I guess, going into labor.
She's gonna have the baby.
Right. And so the dudes have to go into town and get a doctor, and they kidnap this guy who's clearly not a doctor.
They find some jack wagon,
right,
and they bring him instead.
Right.
And he's got nothing but bad jokes.
Oh, man. It's
Piles
awful.
of them.
It's awful, this sequence. There's a bunch of dumb jokes happening surrounding this potential birthing scene. There's some guy that's the fucking perv. He's got the raincoat. His name is Raincoat Harry. He's
Yeah.
wanted by the police in 6 fucking counties for showing his junk everywhere. And it's supposed to be funny, but it fits with nothing that's happening.
No.
Well, and he's flashing people and they don't care.
They don't care.
They like look at his wiener and they're like, oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is probably, I mean, he maybe has an average to less than average wiener. No, I'm going to go average, because if you had less than average wiener, you would look more
that
than
would be
once.
something to be remarked.
Yeah, you'd be like, whoa, buddy, I am so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had a huge wiener, you'd be like, wow, way to go. You would congratulate him, right? You
Way to
wouldn't just-
go. You high five his wiener.
Yeah, you're like, Pah! You just slap it right down.
Great job.
Do you like that? Do you like that more than average wiener? Slap you again, wiener, right in the face.
I think a flasher would actually leave you alone. You're like, you know what? You're right. This is a bad idea.
I'm changing my ways.
I think that's going to be my plan if I ever get flash. Just slap him in the wiener and be like, you like that? You like being slapped in the wiener by a stranger? Justin would be like, quit slapping people in the wiener.
Bob Kraft's like, yes, I do.
There's also some bad things here because Scylla gets kidnapped by 3 guys. They take her to do the bad thing, but she's like, well, I guess if I have to, I'm going to make it awesome. No, don't. No, guys.
She actually tells a joke before she's about to get raped, and that's what one of the only 3 notes I wrote down was, I'm about to get raped. The joke.
Comedy.
I might as well have fun.
Not cool. Not ever. Nope.
Yeah.
Fucking movie. So Shirley decides that, you know what? She can't bring a baby into this world right now, so she's just going to put it off.
She just decides not to have it, and that's fine.
Yeah, baby delay. That was almost something that I could have been like, huh. If this had been surrounded by funny jokes, this would have been the dumbest joke in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But here it's the best.
Yeah. Actually, no. Yeah. Because when the guy chases, right after this, the guy chases Flashy Frank or whatever his name is, and honestly trips and falls right on his face.
Yeah, but that's not a joke.
It's not, but it's the only funny thing. You're like, I'm laughing at this because that man actually hurt himself. That's how bad this movie
The
is.
only redeemable thing about this movie is that I can think of 3 times people trip and fall on their faces.
Yeah.
And every time it's hilarious.
They didn't mean to do it.
It's not the movie's contribution to comedy. It's just gravity's.
My all-time still is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When they get out of the van on the side of the road and the guy goes and eats shit that's in the wheelchair.
Yeah, boy, Jackie cackled like a lunatic in Texas Chainsaw
What
Massacre.
is his name? He's whining the whole time.
Oh, I can't remember. Billy or whatever.
Yeah, what's a 2-syllable name? It was like Ramsey or
What do you think Billy is, you
Waldo
dumb
or-
fuck?
Yeah, I guess that is 2 syllables.
Oh, yeah. Right before you said that, I want to let the listeners know you shot me a look like, no, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like Wilson or something that should be like a last name.
Right.
Wilson, stop griping about everything.
Yeah. Okay, so that whole sequence is over.
So then they go save the main character gal.
Yeah, Scylla.
Mm-hmm. But then she's sitting there talking philosophy to these 3 dudes. She has fucked them to exhaustion.
She's not talking about philosophy. Well, I guess it's philosophical, but she's specifically talking about women's empowerment and that because they're empowered, rape no longer works because they're going to fuck the rapist harder than the rapist is going to fuck them. So, like, dude, if you're going to rape me, I'm going to show you a good time because I'm having a good time with my... No, fuck you! God damn it! Who put this on paper?
I don't know that anybody did. They could have just made it up as they were going along. Either way,
like, that is the most shittiest thing that is ever said about women's empowerment ever. Fuck you, Peter Armitage. Even in Grosse Pointe, George Armitage.
Maybe.
I don't know. God damn it, dude. Ugh, yuck. Ugh. Okay, so they decide that their bohemian look is too dangerous. It's asking for trouble. So they need to dress like their parents, essentially.
This is where he puts on the short shorts and the ugly shirt.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
And then bikers that have a golf course are the new.
Right, they end up on a golf course and get nabbed by a gang of bikers who are golfers.
They're golfers.
Right.
And they're democracy people. They believe in democracy.
Okay.
They have a council.
Uh-huh.
They have a sheriff in town.
Right. Strict rule set, rule of law.
And your worth in this community is solely based off how well you can golf this golf course.
Right. They essentially have a constitution, and it all revolves around the golf course and their Hells Angels. Okay. By them dressing like their parents, they ended up getting nabbed because they weren't bohemian anymore.
Well, it seems like wherever you go, every faction wants to conscript you into their service of whatever it is.
Right.
Which in this one, it's like polishing golf balls for these people is the most important job you can have.
Right. And they eventually escape, but Shirley decides she wants to stay there because there's a jukebox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some Tom Jones on it.
And during the escape, they are pelted by golf balls.
Yep.
Artillery. Fire!
Yeah.
Well, and this is where we pick up another black lady. We pick up a black lady. They never tell us her name, do they?
Nope.
So we just have to call her Black Lady.
Right.
And she doesn't want to be there anymore because she's got an 18-point handicap for this golf course. So she's never going to make it in golf course society. So she's got to fucking leave.
I can't live like this anymore. We've got to leave. There's got to be somewhere better than this.
Where the streets are paved with cheese.
Okay. I'm surprised there's not a cheese gang for Jackie to enjoy. There is some chicken. Because they find some chicken, just some canned chicken someplace.
Yep.
And so they're like, hooray, we can finally eat, because I guess we haven't been eating this whole time. But one of them, Adrian, is like, I can't eat the chicken. I'm not hungry, but I'm worried if I don't eat the chicken, I'm going to become a dwarf.
She says that. She also says that the culmination of all of my worst fears have been realized. About as stunningly as I just delivered the line as well.
Right.
Like, oh, that's why you're not hungry? You've realized that life is a sham? Yep. Canned chicken's not going to help with that.
Oh, I thought she was referring to the guy.
Bud Court.
Yeah, Bud, that she was like, my worst fears are here. You're the only man left on this planet that I can have sex with.
Harold.
Nobody else wants me.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, at the end of the day, he talks her into eating chicken, and she goes nuts and eats so much that she ironically explodes.
Yeah. So she's exploded.
She's dead.
Yep. And Bud decides he just wants to be by himself, so he takes off. So now we're down to 4 people.
5. 4.
Four people.
4 people. Yeah.
And one of them doesn't have a name.
Right.
Yeah.
And they find a backhoe somehow and drive to a trading post where a Native American man,
an
Indian, say, no, he's not anything, Jackie. I'm not putting air quotes around Native American because he says Indian. I'm putting quotes around Native American because he's a white guy pretending to be an Indian, which sucks.
You
fucking said it all, Roger Corman, by hiring a white guy to play an Indian again.
Well,
God
not to
damn it.
mention that one of the Indian ladies
was clearly Asian.
Yeah, it was clearly Asian. It was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm a little confused, but okay.
Yeah, and the Native American man's like, here, take all your shit back, white man. Your smallpox, your fucking genocide, your Columbus Day. We don't want it anymore. Take your America back. But the only thing he doesn't give is the continual hiring of white people to play Native Americans.
Yeah, he doesn't give that part back. Then
I'm looking at you, fake Tonto.
She's yelling like, yeah. She's like, God damn it, Cindy. Everybody knows you're Korean.
Yeah, Cindy.
Yes, sir. Wait, what? No. So they end up at the end of the road. They found the Oracle. It's basically a commune, a hippie commune.
I thought the Oracle was just some painting on the...
Yeah, it was on the rocks and said, there is no answer.
Right. Oh, I thought that's where you ended up, and right next to it was the commune.
I think the commune...
main guy was the Oracle.
Is the byproduct of these people looking for answers and not finding them, and I guess we're over here now.
Yeah, we live here next to this rock painting. Okay.
Yeah, like way to pick a shitty spot out in the middle of the fucking desert where it's hot and there's no shade, no trees, no real live game for you to eat.
Right.
Like, this is a terrible idea.
Snakes and maybe bunnies, which a both really delicious, just not a lot of food.
Yeah, and they're glad to see Justin because he's like, mice.
This guy brought mouse for us, man.
Yeah, they're like, oh man, hopefully he upgrades himself to rats pretty soon.
Where do you get an inexhaustible supply of lightning bolt mice?
CVS.
Yeah.
All right, so they live there now and like they join full into the lifestyle of this commune, even though the main guy is very David Koresh-ish. But the footballers are coming. I guess the footballers have given up on El Paso and now are going to take out the Oracle.
They pillage. You can't stop pillaging. You have to just continuously pillage.
Right.
Until there's nothing left to pillage, and then I guess you die.
Right. Okay.
So.
And then you're 25.
Yeah.
Or 26.
Yeah, 26, whatever.
The hippies, they want to use a peaceful solution. They're going to try to talk it out, but the footballers are like, fuck you. You got 20 minutes to put up your dukes.
Yep.
So what do?
Mm-hmm.
You put on Red Cross crap that you found and like, we're the Red Cross now.
Yeah.
Pull some Bugs Bunny horse shit and it works.
Right. But then the captain of the football team says, damn it. You appealed to my militaristic
he says he was in the army, basically.
proclivities.
And he knows he can't shoot the Red Cross.
Right, but they didn't know that. They just thought he was some football rapist guy.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big gamble.
No, the hippie dickhead's a hippie dickhead.
I mean, the disguise of Rockridge was a much better plan.
Oh, yeah, that was evil. That was an actual plan. This is not a plan at all.
It's really not.
Hats. I've got the answer. I can end war on Earth. Hats. That's what happens in this shot.
Pretty much. And God is like, funny stuff, guys. Here's a firebolt, and shoots a hole into the ground where the rest of the cast climbs through and is now part of hippie commune town too.
Yep, they get to come back.
The Hells Angels are there.
Uh-huh.
Football people are there.
Shirley's there.
Yeah, Laverne.
They gave a
Laverne
hug.
does not appear
That was
in
a
this movie.
joke. Adrian is there.
Right.
Yep.
Like, she blew up, but she
even
came
though
back.
she ironically exploded.
This is world harmony is what's happened here.
Yeah. Yeah, the footballers are now part. They're like, woo, commune, let's party.
Apparently, Corman said one of the pieces of the weight of the straw that broke the camel's back on this one being the last one he did for AIP was that he claims that the most intricate, expensive, and hardest shot he'd ever gotten in his entire life was for the end of this movie, and they cut it out.
No.
Yeah.
So I wonder what it was.
He had 300 people on that mesa, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And
did it fly over? Or?
No, it was a drop on a crane.
Okay.
But apparently you could see the depth of field was all the way to like the ridge, like 5 miles behind it. So he was like, this whole shot's better than the movie, and you didn't even fucking put it in the movie.
Right. Nice work. Finally, the psychedelic army van pulls up, and out emerges JFK, Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, MLK,
and the guy from Mad Magazine.
Yeah, fucking Alfred E. Newman, or apparently Pete Buttigieg, according to the president, who's a dumbass. What is this?
More world peace, I guess?
But they're dead because they're older than 25.
Talia Shire blew up and she's still in the movie.
Right?
Yeah, so, and they're all paper mache hats. Or masks, right?
Right, but I think they're not people wearing JFK masks like the fucking dead presidents, like fucking Patrick Swayze. I think that they are visual representations of those people.
Yeah, they're supposed to be them.
Because
peace on earth.
Because the youngsters have finally stopped. They've broken the wheel, as it were, to quote Daenerys Targaryen. Daenerys Targaryen was not the mother of dragons.
Danny Tartar Sauce has great tits.
So because the youth has decided to stop fighting and choose a peaceful solution, the leaders of the world are like, yay, you did it.
Yeah.
Welcome, we are the Oracle.
They say, shake my hand, but you're going to have to find it because I can't see shit.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's your movie, kids.
It's over.
Thank God. Oh, man. Fuck this piece of shit. Jackie, it's your movie, so you get to ask the first question.
I only have one.
Okay.
Who is your favorite character?
Oh, boy. God damn, dude. I would probably say Shirley, just because we share a common bond with cool tunes.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I don't want to get into a hippie adventure a la Easy Rider. I just want to sit in a record shop and listen to fucking old Paul Simon. I mean, I guess that's as close as I could identify with anybody in this movie.
I would say the lady that took her shirt off and then fucked off out of the movie. She didn't even have any lines.
She did. She had arrow feather.
Oh, she said, I don't know. That was a VO. It could have been somebody else.
Yeah, it could have been. All right. Fair point. Jackie?
I'm going with the Edgar Allan Poe team on the motorcycle.
Oh, yeah. At the end of the movie, Edgar Allan Poe and Lenore show up, and the children have done it.
Wax philosophical or not.
I just like the fact that he's got a fake crow on his shoulder. And that
he's on a Harley for some reason.
Yeah, they're on a Harley, and they talk like they're from Poe times.
Right, ye olde time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're like the watchers of this new universe. Except they keel over and die because they're both over 25.
Yeah, they're totally over 25.
Is this group of 6 individuals worse than the St. Elmo's kids? Like, are they worse people?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Those St. Elmo's dickheads were really, really bad.
Right, but these people are really bad too. The world has ended, and their path to move humankind forward is just a fucking party, man.
Let's think about what would happen if the St. Elmo's fire crew got put into this same situation. They'd do much worse.
They would. I don't know if they would. They wouldn't probably make it out of Dallas because they would have murdered each other before then.
Well, I mean, the one guy leaves his baby, and
right?
his partner and his baby,
right,
to strangers,
right.
The other one is like, I'm fully committed to you, but I'm gonna go have psychedelic sex with this other person.
Yeah.
The lady's like, go ahead and rape me. This will be fun. I don't know. I think these people are worse.
And don't forget our lead guy, who might be the most redeemable out of everybody, is completely irredeemable because he is shocked because a black man is having a baby with a white lady. And like, even though it's not even shock, it's not like he saw fucking Captain Kirk kiss Uhura and be like, whoa, you can do that on television. He's like, dude, you realize she's white, right? You can't do that.
Yeah, he's a racist.
Even though you're a groovy guy, man, you do need to know that, right?
Yeah.
So fuck you. Fuck all of you guys.
Well,
you all fucking suck.
Beyond that, even if he didn't go that far into being racist, he's also a hippie dickhead.
He's also a hippie dickhead.
That's right. We don't like hippies on the show.
I don't hate them, but like when they're dickheads.
When they're dickheads, yeah.
Yeah, this guy's a dickhead beyond being a hippie.
Right now, my lifestyle is borderline hippie-esque, Jackie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just can't be a dickhead.
Mm-hmm. You can be the dude.
I'm probably, the dude is a hippie.
Yeah, that's fine. You just can't fucking wander around the earth and tell people their business if you're a hippie.
Fucking business, man.
Like,
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're like, what do you really know? You're a fucking hippie. Get
on it.
Yeah.
Sammy?
Why?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
And it leads to my next question.
Can you do it in song?
Yeah. Do I want to? No. Did the baby boomers make the world better? Because that's what this movie is, Sam. Why, you ask? Because fuck the baby boomers. I am so fucking sick and tired of them complaining about millennials and their way of life, and then I watch this and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
You're complaining about millennials sitting around on the internet and playing video games and wondering why they have to go get jobs, right? When they don't want to get jobs, they want to be have in charge of their own destiny. It's a cultural revolution as far as work, and you are from this fucking thing?
Yeah.
Where your whole goal in life is to just fucking party and do horrible things to other people because that's your fucking idiom? That's why. Now, I want to throw a little bit more generational thing out. We're not millennials. We're not baby boomers, and we're not Gen Y. We're in between the Gen Y and the
Gen
millennials.
Xers.
Or the Gen X's and the millennials. Our generation has now been defined as the lost generation.
Sure.
Because nobody ever fucking talks about us, and we don't really fucking give a shit about anything. But
Born analog, had to convert to digital.
right, but you watch this, and I almost want to say that the baby boomers were the lost generation because it's clear that everything that they do in this movie is a generation of people who cannot define themselves. They have no identity. So they go way overboard and compensate for every void that's filled inside of them by doing all these crazy things. That's why, Sam, this whole film is just a way for a generation to fucking say, this is me, and it's totally not them.
Corman wasn't convinced that they were saving anything. He was already too old. He was like, these hippie dickheads are hippie dickheads.
Right. No. Corman's statement about this film is exactly spot on. But the film itself and the writing and the characters and the acting, they are all saying something totally different. That we are, yeah, man, this way is the future. And then in 20 years, 30 years, we're going to look at people saying the exact same thing, but probably a better version of it and be like, how dare you take capitalism away from us, you fucking assholes.
Like, why don't we just barter? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You realize this is the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Yeah. That's why, Sam. Anybody else?
There's not really a lot of questions to be had with this one.
Yeah.
Because it is in of itself a question.
I have a question.
Okay.
Are you guys going to recommend anybody watch this? Jackie, let's start with you.
This is my pick.
It is.
I'm going to say yes. Watch it.
What?
And despite of everything, I thought it was kind of a little bit of a journey and a little bit of trip. And it's not like most movies that you see. And I thought that it has some redeeming funny jokes, and
Name one.
There hasn't been a long-haired man like that in this church for a while.
That wasn't funny.
I thought it was.
Okay.
No, the guy tripping and falling down was funny.
It's not a joke.
They didn't mean to do that.
You can't call it a joke.
You know what? I thought it was a journey. It stayed with me. I'm gonna give it a do.
I am not going to give it a do. This is a fucking weird one. Because I can't, in good faith, look somebody in the eye and say you should watch it. But I can't tell any listeners of this show that they shouldn't. It is also a journey. It's shittier than Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, which we all said you have to watch it. It's film history. This is film history. This is a massive shift. This film is a fucking San Andreas fault in changing the landscape of budget movies for the rest of fucking time. And what it tries to do and what it tries to accomplish are complete failures. But it's still this microcosm of everything that film was trying to do, telling the viewer what they should feel rather than being a part of that feeling with the viewer itself. So yeah, you kind of have to.
It sucks, though.
Don't like it.
You won't like it.
Hated
That's
it.
the thing.
This is a 3 out of 10 for me.
I think it's actually worse than Casino Royale.
Wow.
And I never thought I would say that about something that was sort of like Casino Royale. Because in that movie that is just as non-psychedelic and makes no sense because it was also slapped together like, oh, it doesn't have to make sense. It's psychedelic.
It's a kaleidoscope.
It was like, no, it's not. It's just a pile of movie that doesn't make any sense.
Pile of movie.
In that pile, Peter Sellers made me laugh once. That didn't happen in here.
Right. Men tripping is not somebody intentionally making Sam laugh.
And Peter Sellers told a funny joke. Like that, it was funnier than a man falling down.
So you are giving it a donut, even with its historical significance.
I can't do that because I'm like, did I hate it? Yes, but I'm glad I watched it.
Right.
That's where this fucking thing's at.
Right. I'm going to be able to now be a smarter film historian because of it. I will probably make reference to this film at some point moving forward in my future. Whereas, there's lots of other ones that I'm not going to ever fucking talk about again that were fun.
And
so, yeah.
I'm in the same spot with Casino Royale. Like, I'm glad I saw it. It sucks.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to some streaming do's and don'ts. Jackie, I want to start off with you. Why don't you take point on Life of the Party from 2018 starring Melissa McCarthy on HBO Now?
Yeah, I did watch this one this week. About a lady gets, divorced. Her daughter's in her senior year of college. She never finished school. She goes back with the daughter to finish school, and she ends up being very popular with the student population and kind of gets a makeover in the thing. Of
course.
Fucks a 22-year-old.
Of course.
That just happens to be the son of the lady who her husband left. It had some really funny jokes in it, and I'm going to give it a do.
Really?
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Okay.
And I know that it got thrown under the bus pretty hard.
Yeah, most people did not find it funny.
But I thought it was fucking hilarious.
I want to just briefly touch on, she was in 3 fucking movies last year. I didn't even know that this one exists because we were looking at
Henson's one that was a disaster.
The Happy Time Murders for the Smafest, but we decided to not touch it because we didn't have anything to compete against it. And then she was also in that movie that she was nominated for Best Actor or Best Supporting, I thought, and I can't remember the title of that movie. And then there's Life of the Party. So man, she's pulling Danny Trejo numbers.
Yeah, she's shotgunned this year.
Yeah.
She's just sort of, and then it worked about as well as a shotgun.
Right.
2 of the pellets hit and the other ones did not.
Right. So good for you, Melissa McCarthy. Lover or hater. I'm down with people working a lot. Next up, Jackie and I watched this, and it's a nice bridgeway because it involves the Amazon and Donald Pleasance. We watched Treasure of the Amazon with the Riff Tracks crew from 1986, believe it or not, Jackie. I had to look that up. I thought this was like a 1972 movie.
Yeah, me too.
These guys go look for treasure in the Amazon, and Donald Pleasance is a fucking Nazi on horseback with the topless native woman as a sidekick. And there's a tribe of cannibals? Head choppers, for sure. Oh, they're just head shrinkers. Yeah. And who are trying to prevent the Westerners from coming in and getting the treasure, and shenanigans ensue.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a do not.
Jackie, you didn't like this.
Bored stiff.
Man, I kind of really liked this one. It's that, again, it's 1986, and it looks like a fucking 70s movie because it's got that, like, almost Romero gore to it, like, really bad makeup, like almost the Orange Blood. You know the Orange Blood line of films? That level. Like, there's so much head chopping in it, and none of it looks good, but it's constant, and it's always like, dude, nailed that head chopping, and you're like, that was clearly a fucking balloon taped to somebody's shirt. So I liked it. I thought it moved. I thought it was silly. I thought it was corny as shit. Donald Pleasance is terrible. And it's a grand adventure with lots of piranha people getting eaten and alligators eating other people and snakes eating other people and tribal people eating other people, and Donald Pleasance chewing scenery, so he's basically eating people.
This sounds more dangerous than Australia.
Yeah, right. Well, it is the Amazon. I mean, come on. So it's a do for me. Moving on, Sam and I watched this one about Treasure in the Amazon starring Donald Pleasance. Gold of the Amazon Women, also starring Bo Svensson.
Yeah, I was super excited about it because I was like, Donald Pleasance and Bo Svensson. Bo Svensson is a total D-bag the whole movie.
He's a bit of a doofus. He's also chewing scenery, but he's like, dude, come on.
His hair's all long, and he's young. He's young, Bo Svensson.
Right, which is like 38.
Yeah. Well, I think he was in the Marines for like 8 years before he was an actor. Right. So there was no real young Bo Svensson movies out there. But yeah, he's like fucking Dauber from Coach.
Yeah, he is.
He's totally Dauber from Coach, and you're like, oh, this is action guy, huh? And then there's some ladies, and you're like, oh, here comes the Amazons that are never going to take their shirts off.
Yeah, because instead of headhunters, there's of course, Wonder Woman-esque tribe of Amazonians who are trying to keep the Westerners away, and they're assassins, basically.
From not even the gold, they're from the real treasure between their legs, apparently.
Right.
That's like what we find out, and they have like cedars.
Golden pussies?
No, like
they're just regular
vaginas.
Oh, all right.
That's a James Bond movie.
Is it? Yeah, they have like the cedar guys, and towards the end of it,
Cedar. Oh, like not like cedar the woods. Cedar like seed.
Yeah, like
her.
Yeah,
seed.
The men that are there for procreation.
Put some mayonnaise inside of that woman.
The queen of the tribe talks to one of them who's like a downed aircraft pilot or something, and he's like, man, I didn't realize we had so much in common. He's like, well, you never talked to me. And then they're like, I guess we're in love now.
Of
Yay.
course.
This shit was boring.
Yeah, I checked out, man. I totally fucking fell asleep.
And Donald Pleasance only gets to do his thing like once, and it's 3/4 of the way through the movie.
What does he say, though, Sam?
They get out of this helicopter, and there's like natives beyond the Amazons that are going to attack him. And he has his own Amazons that he's co-opted, I guess, by paying them more.
Right.
That's all I can figure. And they're like...
Wait, let me guess. When he gets off the helicopter, he looks around and says, I'm here for your Puma man.
No, he doesn't say that. He says something like, we need to head west. And then they're like, we can't go that way because of blank danger. And he says, I have 2 friends, Smith and Wesson, that might have something to say about it. And I was like, wow, that was amazingly Donald Pleasance, but the movie needed like 100 times more of that.
Right.
It didn't have it except for the one time. So that's a do not.
Do not from Sam. So that's 2 out of 3 on movies this week. So next week is my pick, and we are finally going to get back to the Breen. We'll be doing Pass Through from 2016.
Oh, he's done with that one, huh?
Yeah.
Apparently for 3 years.
Yeah. So it's on the YouTubes. You can find it. Make sure you watch the next chapter in the Stinker Madness Neil Breen love affair, and enjoy your week and get to the chopper. Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.